Thank you for joining me on this overview of flight simulation, a hobby for us all. We will be using X-Plane 11.50 and taking off from London City Airport, as you can see here. The plane before you is the Bonanza F-33A produced by Beechcraft. The aircraft in this video is modelled by Corando and at approximately 22 pounds, and that's not bad for a new aeroplane, is it not? I bet you can't wait to get behind the controls, but before we jump in the cockpit, let's go and have a look at X-Plane's menus. Well, hello again. As you can see, this is the start screen. If you need to change any default settings, you can do this by clicking on, guess what? Settings from this screen. Now we will go to the Sound tab. This page is self-explanatory. Try starting with the same settings as you see here and you will be fine. Now click on the Graphics tab. First, please note, with the computer as described in the beginning notes, it will be impossible to move these sliders any further to the right. Doing so will improve quality, but will kill your frame rate. You will need a far better computer to move the sliders any further. 30 to 40 frames per second is the target. Below 27 frames per second, you may notice flickering and stuttering, and this will spoil the realism of the game. Also be aware, the more scenery and add-ons you have, the lower the frame rate will be. If above 40, why not move the sliders further to the right? Your quality will be greatly improved. With this computer specification, you should be able to maintain approximately 30 frames per second over a big city, and higher when flying over the country. If you are having trouble with the frame rate, try moving the number of wide objects and reflection detail further to the left, or indeed any one of these, until you have an acceptable quality. The next thing you'd want to do is set up your controllers. Do this by clicking on the joystick tab. If you use Logitech G or other well-known makes, these controllers will be recognised by X-Plane and displayed on the screen, as you can see here. Now to edit, choose the button you want to edit and click on the corresponding number in the right column. So buttons here and right column here. So 5 and 5, and we'll press edit. Select any item from the extended list. You see, there's hundreds to choose from. You would just click on a heading and then click on apply. You will need to do this for all your controllers. Please watch the screen for calibration of the flight yoke. When finished, click Done. So here's the flight yoke. We're new to the game, so it says Calibrate. So click on Calibrate, and it's very simple to do. You just move your controls. So first of all, we have the pitch control on the yoke. And that's set. Now the roll control, just move it left and right to its full extent. That's set. And the same with the throttle quadrant. Mixture, prop, and throttle. and then click next, and then click next again, and then just wait, and then click finish. And there we have it. All your controls are colorized. Just one thing to remember, if you're using the same controls as we've got here, then we have to click on here for reverse access, and we have to click here as well for reverse access here, but we don't click reverse access for the throttle. And then, as I said, click done. From the main menu, click on New Flight. Now you can choose your plane, pick up departure airport, change the time and month, and then choose your weather. Please watch the screen. Today we're going to choose the F-33A Bonanza. Click on here, and the airport will be over here. We're going to choose, incidentally, you can choose any airport through the whole world. We're going to choose London City, and then we can customize it up the top, and then we can zoom in, and we have the landing strip, and we have stand 22, which we're going to use today, and that's highlighted down here as well, and London City. And then we confirm. We can set the weather, just click customize, and you can just change these sliders and everything to change anything you want to there. And then when you've done that, click done. And then we can select the time of day anywhere here, so we just customize again, and then we have month, day, hour, minute, and we can also track real world weather, real world date and time, if we click this one. And then when you've done all that, just click done. Jolly good. Right, now it's time to go back to our aircraft, the Bonanza 33, which is waiting for us on the tarmac. There she is. Doesn't she look good? Standing there on the tarmac waiting for us to get aboard. Just look at those graphics. Let me zoom in and show you around. Look at that lovely stainless steel cowling on the propeller. And this reflection of the sun on the bodywork. Right, there she is. So how about getting aboard? Now I'm going to run you through the startup routine. I shan't be using the radio or the pneumatic pilot for this overview. First thing we must do is switch on the fuel switch, and we'll find that down here. We can choose left or right tanks. Today we're going to choose the right tank, so I'm going to click just under here. That's fuel on, right tank. Now we're going to open the throttle to maximum. Now we're going to set the propeller pitch to fine. Now we're going to set the fuel mixture to rich. Now we're going to switch on the battery. And when I switch these switches, and when we switch these switches on, you'll probably see them move just over here. What I can do is actually get rid of these joysticks, so you can see it controls better. Now I'm going to go back to 25% on the fuel, and prime the engine by switching on the fuel pump. You will see this dial here move. Now I'm going to turn on the ignition and start the engine. Ignition keys are just here. Set the throttle to 1000 revs. And that's the dial just here. Turn on the alternator. Navigation. Turn on the beacon. And turn on the panel lights. Increase the brightness of the panel lights. I'll zoom in for that one. And now you can see the panel lights on here. And now I'm going to run through the dials for you. Airspeed indicator. That's this one here. The dial will indicate the knots that you are travelling. Takeoff and landing should be approximately 75 knots. Try not to go below 70 when flying. This dial here will tell you if you're flying straight and level. As you see, this white line going across there is nice and straight at the moment. So obviously the plane is level. The altimeter will tell you how high you are, and that's just control here. We can adjust that by this control here. So notice the needle's moving as I adjust it. As I'm on the ground, I'll set it to 0. Tachometer, which is this one here, will tell you the RPM of your engine. If I increase the throttle, good, you can see that. The next dial, which is of importance, is this one here. That's the vertical speed indicator. If it goes up this way, it tells you you're flying higher, and if it goes this way, it shows you're going down. So that's quite an important dial. One other readout that will help you on a long flight is flaps. We use those for landing, ailerons for turning, rudder for turning and turning. And elevators. Good. Right. Let's jump back in. We're heading now to the runway. Just look at the details on those wheels. Even the pilot's looking at us. That's a nice touch. Be careful here not to go in the drink. We're going to be flying towards London, so I've got to go east at the moment to get to the end of the runway, so I can turn around and take off. Just look at the scenery in the background. You'll see the radio over here, but we're not using that today. It all works. I'm not a pilot, and I'm not really an experienced flight simulator pilot either. I just had it for a year, and I just thought I would share some of these points with you all. I think this is an excellent game if you're looking for a new hobby. And it can be for any age. Well, we won't need all of this runway when we take off, so I'm going to turn around now. You'll probably hear a screech, but I think X-Plane has just overdone that a little bit. Oh, that's not too bad. That was good. Okay then, let's get ready for takeoff. Good. Okay, let's take the handbrake off and let's go to full power. We're looking for this dial now to reach approximately 75. And then we're going to pull back on the yoke. Now I don't want to go very high or very fast, so I'm going to deaccelerate now down to 75%. There we can just see the Thames Barrier in the distance, and I'm going to raise the undercarriage. Lovely. We'll get back inside so I can control it. We can see we have the dome on the left. I shall follow the Thames, and we're taking a few landmarks as we carry on. This is a sightseeing tour of London, and then we're going to go back and land at London City Airport. London City Airport is an add-on by Orbex. Now I'm going to decrease the power to 50%. And also the propeller pitch as well. And trim the aircraft nose down. And nose up a bit. I'm watching the feet here. I don't want to go below 500. Right about 100 knots is good for sightseeing. As you can see, if you trim the aircraft properly, you don't have to touch the controls. When you turn, you will have to bring the nose out by pulling the flight yoke towards you. See some cars on the road down below on the left, lorries. And ahead we can see Tower Bridge. And HMS Belfast. Mind that crane on the right. And the Shard on the left. I'm just guessing my height at the moment. It looks as if we're okay. I can see we have the London Eye on the left and the Houses of Parliament on the right, also Big Ben. we're still sort of not much below 500, so that's good. I'm going to turn now and we're going to go back to the Houses of Parliament. Pull the nose up. London Eye is just there, so Houses of Parliament are there as well, on the left. Alright, we're going to go down now and visit the Queen. Gonna knock on the door. Trim up slightly. Then we have Buckingham Palace on the left. And now just below us. Now we're going to try and find Trafalgar Square. Are you watching the dials? Do you remember as I explained them in the beginning? As the Parliament, well, let's straight ahead. So I know the road goes straight down to Trafalgar Square. So if we go round here, okay, there we can see it now, Trafalgar Square coming into view. Just down there, there we go. Fountains as well, and Nelson on the top. And ahead we had the GPO Tower. We're going to go round that one. And I don't go down too low. 300, well, it's a little bit low. We can look out of the right window. There we go. Right, let's head back to the airport. That's the city airport, of course. I think it's over this way somewhere. Good, we can see the dome right in the horizon, and those two tall buildings always denote where the city airport is. A bit of the nose up trim. Doesn't that look good? That goes to show what happens when you play about. Just missed that one. Right, now we've got to find where the city airport is again. Queen Elizabeth Bridge up there, so the dome just here. We're doing 80 knots, which is okay for landing. We can look at the instrument panel in more detail. Right, I'm going to put the wheels down now. And now the flaps. Increase the power and increase the propeller pitch to fine. We're now at 75% power. Runway is just over here. All London sites are there if you can fly around and find them. Some more traffic down here on the road. We have trains as well. We have red lights here. We should have 2 white ones and 2 red ones. But that'll be alright for today. 50% power. And then of course power down to idle. Oh, that wasn't a bad landing, was it? Okay, let's go and park the plane. see the Lyle sugar factory just on the left here. And it looks as if we can park down here, I think. Look. Oh well, that's not too bad at all. Okay, and also like everything else, there's a procedure to stop the engine. First of all is switch off the avionics. And then idle cut off on the mixture, and that will stop the engine. And then turn the ignition off, turn the alternator off, and the battery. There we are, and that's the end of the flight today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope this is an insight into flight simulation for you. Bye.